are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remote's a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. We fly that flow, grab that gap. No time to nap, no time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control, bounce that wall, we fly it all, we fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that splitter over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti, and I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're going to be opening up the, we're going to do it like from scratch, everything. Look at this. I did not, boy did I want to, so that I wouldn't look like an idiot, as I usually do when I unbox stuff, but I left this completely sealed so that you'll get the full madness of me diving into BetaFPV's ArtLink setup for the first time. This is the Aquila 20. They've also got a Pavo on the ArtLink, or you can just buy the camera and VTX separate. So we're going to jump into this. The reason why I decided to do that is that this is a whole new video system with like new goggles and everything, and boy, is there opportunity for hilarity when it comes to me doing something brand new. So hopefully all goes smoothly. If it doesn't go smoothly, you'll get to see. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years, so I'm not just like a totally new person to FPV. which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes my sort of preconceived notions of how things should be will get in the way of me just turning something off and on again and having it work. But yeah, you'll get to see me dive into this thing, get everything set up. I did remember to... charge these. These are the batteries for the... for the quad itself. What about the goggles, though? We're going to open this right now because probably I'm going to have to get the goggles and the charger. So here you go. Massive thank you to BetaFPV for sending this over. And so, oh, it's in one of their really nice cases. So that's that. BetaFPV puts all their stuff in these gorgeous, like, gray, really nice cases. I like it a lot. So let's get the goggles out and get them plugged in so that they can start charging. But this is what you're presented with when you... Ooh, the controller as well. When you zip it open for the first time, it smells like plastic. So, yeah, controller... We're going to get that plugged in. Which one is this? Is this the 4? Light Radio 4. I'm going to need longer arms. If my eyes keep getting worse, I'm going to need longer arms. And then here are the goggles. Oh, is that a battery pack that hangs off the back of the goggles? That's what it looks like. Let's see. Although it's really light. Why? How is it so lightweight? What's in here? Nothing is in here. So, oh, tell me it takes the... Okay, no, it's 18650s. There's two 18650s in the package. Okay. So, let's get this open. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so... Although I wonder if it uses the same plug as Fat Shark. Looks like it does. So I can probably run my tattoo batteries that I use on all my other stuff. I've got these little Tattoo 2S batteries. But since I'm here, I might as well throw these 18650s into it and get it plugged in as well. In the chat, For the Win was first, J Tux was next, Uke, Frank Dr. Nicholas, Level Up, Chaser, Nathan Wells, DeGhoul. I'm just rifling through this at this point. Nathan Wells, DeGhoul, J Tux, JP Spin, Doc Holiday. Who else is here? Skull 901, Really Good Bad Boy, B-Bird, Replicator, Craig A. FPV, Double Haul, FPV Toast. Here we go. Unmarked 18650s. 10-string guitar, Jimmy the Cow, Uriel, Jameson Keller, Lone Star. What's up, friends? If I missed you, I'll get you next time, I promise. Let's get these 18650s into the battery pack and get it on the charger. Hey, DJI. Hey, DJI, take note, you donkeys. Just make it take 18650s on the back of the goggles. Oh my god, don't build a battery in that's a giant pain to deal with. Which side is positive on these? I guess this is the positive, not that. Let's see. I don't deal with 18650s a lot. Did that work? That worked. Cool. And they're a little bit charged, but yeah, I am going to get them plugged in here so that they will sit here and charge while we're screwing around. Here are the goggles. So they are box goggles. I don't know if there are any ArtLink, like, you know, non-box goggles, lens-based goggles. Oh, wow, that does not fit my face very good. It pushes on my nose quite a bit. We'll see how it is with the actual strap on it. They look nice. Nothing crazy. No like weird LEDs or X's or strange stuff in the front. I dig that. What is this? This is a single battery charger. Looks like that it comes with, and look at that plug. Recognize that? That, my friends, is BT 3.0. Very, very smart for them to put, very smart for them to put BT 3.0 on this. It is a perfectly good connector that deserves more love. And if they use it on stuff like this, one of the worries is that BT 3.0 goes away, right? The more stuff it gets put on, the less likely it's going to be to go away. So this is really a good thing because it's a fantastic connector. And I would hate to see it go away because it's a lot lighter than XT30 with balance lead. So, all right, I got everything plugged in. Transmitter's charging. There's probably one more flight battery for the quad itself. So they sent me individually 2 extra batteries and this little DJI looking charger, which is powered by USB-C. So I've had this plugged in pretty much all day, just charging these 2 batteries up. But it looks like there's 2 more batteries in the package. So let's real quick get those on here. I doubt that I'll fly all of them, but we might as well charge them all up just to make sure there's no weirdness. So yeah, there was 1 battery in here. Here comes the, looks like they got this thing with the QR codes as they always do. Here, they give you 2 batteries. That's really smart. That is really smart to include 2 batteries with a quad. I dig that. All right, so those are both on the little charger thing. There we go. And then this one should be charged. Here's the little drone. This is the Aquila 20. Fully plastic frame. Battery just slots in like this. When you put the battery in, the lens is perfectly there for your thumb to be over. That's I made sure I just got my finger all over that lens. Yeah, about what we would expect. It's like a little Neo. What happened there? I always just kind of like test frames to see how bendy they are, and when I did that, the plastic is, I'm pulling out on the plastic and it's making plastic noises. Let's weigh it. So again, this is the Aquila 20. I'm assuming this is a 2-inch prop. Let's double check though. It is looks like a Gemfan propeller. Oh, they don't give you the propeller doesn't say what it is on there. What about on these extras that they give you? Do they tell you what it is? They just say Gemfan BetaFPV. Huh. That's weird. I would love for them to have put on the propeller what the size and what the pitch is. But, you know, basically what that means is this is a totally specific propeller that Gemfan made for BetaFPV for this guy. With a battery, we are at 127 grams. So way too heavy for like indoor stuff, but we're gonna fly it indoor anyway because we like to make bad decisions around here. It'll be fine. It'll be a real test of how it can handle direction changes and all that good stuff. We'll see how the prop wash is. Maybe we'll see how that weight affects it in the turns and all that jazz. Cool. So it looks like I've gotten pretty much everything out without the battery, just for the record. Without the battery, we are at 71.6 grams. So big, heavy battery. What is it? What is this battery? It is a 7.6 volt. Oh, geez. 1100 mAh. So that's where a lot of the weight is coming from. 1100 mAh is pretty heavy. But, you know, with quads like this, runtime is super important. People buy cars on horsepower. People buy quads on runtime, which is not the best thing. Like, I wish people would put less emphasis on runtime. Eventually they do. So we've got the JST in the rear here that you need the little dongle to go to USB. And then it looks like we've got a little optical sensor here. This is probably going to detect altitude for some kind of an altitude hold. And then there's a little guy here. What is that? Whoever just did something to trigger that noise, thank you for doing the thing that triggered that noise. I don't know what that is. Looks like a little capacitor or something that's just hanging out. It doesn't look like a sensor or anything like that. So yeah, there we go. Again, reminds me a lot of the DJI Neo. My basic thoughts on builds like this is that they are basically like full-blown FPV versions of what the DJI Neo would be, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if somebody gets a Neo or an Avata 2 and they want to go a little bit deeper into like actual FPV, this could be a really good jumping off point. Or, you know, if someone's kid sees them flying their Neo or their Avata 2 and they don't want them to just, you know, you don't want your kid to destroy your expensive DJI product that you might never be able to get repaired again if this country keeps acting like idiots. This would be an awesome jumping off point to get them their own setup so that they don't get boogers all over your ears. Really good. If you want to talk directly to me, type at CiottiFPV and I'll read your chat comment. If you want to support me, which I do need, go over to CiottiFPV.com. Join my Patreon. That's the best thing that you can do. Buy some stuff from my Etsy store. Use my affiliate links. Lots of different ways that you can support me so that we can keep this live stream going. Really good bad boy tagged me and said, my order arrived today. Interested to test out the magic electrical juice. Very cool. He also says, what the hell does the propodial do? I can remove props with this thing. Yep. You just loop it. You just loop it right under the propeller. You put the motor shaft in the middle there. And then you fold it up like this. And you hold on to it, and you've got something that'll actually grab the propeller. It works best with biblades. I ship one of those with everything. Every Etsy order, every giveaway win, all this stuff. Craig A. says, hi. Jimmy the Cow says, moo. Congratulations on BetaFPV sending you free shit. You rock. You deserve this. Thank you, dude. Yuke says, they have a Meteor 75 P1. I didn't know about the Pavo. That's what it is. P1. P for Pavo. I think. Hold on. I thought they had a Pavo. Oh, wait. No, I had the tab opened. Oh, I guess they don't have a Pavo yet. They have the... Sorry, guys. They have the Aquila, and then they have the Meteor 75 Pro P1. Somebody had mentioned that there's also a Pavo, and I didn't... and I just went with it. Sorry about that. Yeah, no Pavo yet. I'm sure they will, though. I'm sure they'll come out with a bigger version of this that has like the 2.2-inch props and the bigger motors. This Aquila has itty-bitty motors. They are... Yeah, see, they're talking about 10-minute runtime. So mega MAH on the battery. And then they keep everything else as light as they can. One of the things they do is use itty-bitty motors. They are 1103. I almost said 1003. But they are 1103, 10,500 kV. That's actually a really nice motor size for something that's like 40 grams or 50 grams. This guy is quite a bit heavier than that, and so that is going to be an 1103 is going to be considered a fairly small motor for this. But this is not a hardcore FPV ripping freestyle rig, right? Like this is a first or second build, something simple, something focused on learning how to fly. And so yeah, I'm wondering. I wonder if the motors are on plugs. I bet you they are. I bet you they're plugged in. Maybe we'll crash it hard enough to break it, and then we'll take a look. Camera angle adjustment from 10 to 30 degrees. That's pretty slick. Oh, 2218. GemFan 2218 propellers. So it is a 2.2 inch prop. That's maddening. But I guess what's nice is that this is an additional 2.2 inch prop because this is a specific prop for this thing. So yeah, I guess it makes a little bit of sense. The extra 0.2 of an inch is going to make the propeller a little bit more efficient. And realistically, it's not going to be any bigger. So 100 millimeter wheelbase. Yeah. 200 milliwatts, 350 milliwatts, 127, 122. I mean, realistically, this is going to be all about the ArtLink system. So we're starting to see a lot of manufacturers take this ArtLink HD VTX camera system and build their own kind of setups. So far, I believe, from what I've seen, this BetaFPV ArtLink setup is the best of the bunch. But I think in the next through the rest of this year, you're going to see the ArtLink popping up all over the place. And so, yeah, it should be interesting. I think it was Kevin Sumner that just told me the other day that whoever the next company that's coming out with an ArtLink setup, it is going to be compatible with the BetaFPV goggles, right? This is going to be one of the problems that we run into here with all the, like, a half a dozen different FPV manufacturers jumping on to ArtLink, is that we could very easily end up with 6 new pairs of goggles, none of which work with one another. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of important for these manufacturers to kind of figure this out and work with each other, because it's just totally unrealistic to continue to buy goggles every single time, right? The goggles are one of the more expensive parts of FPV. We've been pretty lucky up until recently to have it just sort of be like open it. I mean, with analog, right, we had a ton of different goggle manufacturers, and then it got a little bit more closed when DJI came through, and then it was a little bit, and then Walk Snail, and then HD0. So it kind of all went out the window, but there was at least some bleed over. The potential nightmare with ArtLink is that HDLRC makes their own goggles, BetaFPV makes their own goggles, right? Like each different manufacturer has their own totally unique set of goggles. So, but yeah, apparently these are from what I've heard, these are kind of the ones that you want today. It might be a little early to dive in unless you're like ready to go. BetaFPV is a well-known manufacturer. This is not going to be a bad way to go at all. But if possible, I would wait. I would give it a few more months to see how the rest of the ArtLink stuff shakes out, because it is still fairly new. Cool. Hopefully that makes sense. This little single battery charger they give you is just USB-C in to BT 3.0. This is kind of handy, actually. Well, no, I already have the... they sell this other one. One of the things I really do like from... Of course, you're going to get like a Whoopster and a Toothster to charge your BT 2.0, BT 3.0 batteries, but... BetaFPV sells this little guy. This is actually a voltage checker here. This is a screen under the white. And so you power it from USB-C, and then you can charge one BT 3.0 battery. And it's also a voltage checker. Super, super nice to have in case you don't want to bring your Toothster with you everywhere you go, which I'm sure you don't. But yeah, this is probably going to be the same thing, but without the voltage checker. So, all right. Let me try to get as much as caught up in chat as I can while these guys charge, and then we'll dive in. Double Hall says, did you see the news about ArtLink being compatible with other Artisan systems? Oscar Liang post last week. Oh my God, please make a VRX already. Yeah, right. That's right. ArtLink is what BetaFPV has chosen to call it. It's actually Artisan is the name of the technology that everybody is now using. I did not see that, but that is really, really, really good news. That's the one thing where I know a lot of people are like, let me just hold on. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that want to dive into it, but they're like, I ain't getting locked in to X, Y, or Z company and then not being able to have any options. Craig AFPV says, have you touched on the Sky 04 Pro latency stuff? I have them and wonder if it's something that should bother me. So Nils Vo, Nils space VO, has been doing some fascinating latency testing of all kinds of different goggles, specifically of a bunch of different analog goggles. Go look them up, NILS space VO, and watch his latency testing. It matters. It absolutely matters. Hemming and hawing over like 1 or 2 or 3 milliseconds of latency, not really worth it. But he's seeing 6 to 20 milliseconds difference in latency between certain analog goggles. So yeah, it's absolutely something that matters. As little as like 6 or 7 milliseconds of latency, you will absolutely notice. And more latency makes you fly worse, right? Like the quad is actually in front of where you think it is. Latency does matter. When you're absolutely brand new, it doesn't matter as much, but as you get better, it matters more and more and more and more. Can you fly around it? Yeah, absolutely. But it does make you fly worse, for sure. Daytona Jim with a $4.99 super chat. He says, $5 holler. Thank you, brother. Brandon's McBean says, this drone has position hold. I'm sure it does, because it's got the little sensor on the bottom, but we'll see in a little bit, because we're going to be flying this thing around. Mick Mucus says, currently flying a 2-inch 2S toothpick that I built using your parts that were once broken. Thanks for your tutelage through the years. Thank you. Here's 1,000 cents. Much appreciated, brother. Mick Mucus with a $10 super chat. My pleasure, man. Yuke says, I started FPV with a Neo and then the Maker Fire Armor Blue B 65mm. I haven't heard of that one. But that's pretty cool that you started with a Neo. That's slick. Random Pac-Man says, have you tried custom throttle curves on your transmitter? Like squishing the throttle resolution below hover to give you more resolution above hover. I've done all kinds of weird stuff to try to get the throttle to react the best. It's best to keep it as simple as possible, and the simplest possible is just throttle expo. Don't do anything that's like different on the top versus the bottom. In the new version of Betaflight, it not only gives you the option to move the midpoint up and down, but it gives you the option to move it left and right, which I've not really dove into, but that is really slick. That allows you to artificially change the hover point, which is really, really cool. There will be a live stream about it. I've just been super busy lately. And that's like a big thing that I'm going to have to really screw around with a bunch. CH3FPV, what you in my opinion, you should do any, unless you're really familiar with OpenTX or EdgeTX, I feel like you should do your throttle expo in Betaflight. You can get to it in the menu. It's in there with your rates. It gets you used to going into the OSD, which is really Betaflight's OSD, which is really, really cool. There's all kinds of fun stuff in there. And so, yeah, I back before I understood that, I would do all kinds of wacky stuff in OpenTX to put curves on the throttle to get it to perform a little bit better. CH3 says, what holds me is the latency of this first generation. I saw they teamed up in 4 manufacturers. I'll wait for maybe the second gen. Yeah, I think a lot of people are in that same boat. Yuke says, should see if they'll send you the new analog goggles. I heard they're pretty good. Really? BetaFPV? I don't even know that they had new analog goggles. Yuke says, Artlynk is the tech, Artisan is the chip maker. Oh, okay. Different companies are rebranding Artisan chips that support Artlynk. Got it. Thank you for that. Nyafu says, hey, Youngie Man, all my 04 lights have a black screen with OSD and no error in the bottom right. I got a brand new yesterday and same issue. I just want to finish the fake KM 2.5. That's weird. What is that about? FPV Emperor says, man, you look like Luigi. Love your videos. Sounds good. Jimmy the Cow says, real talk, the Neo got me started in FPV as well. Very happy with it as first try drone. And then Ryan says, what do you recommend for people to get the most out of your coaching / tuning sessions and come prepared? Nothing in specific, to be honest. I mean, like, I try to have so over on CiottiFPV.com, there's a link to Fiverr. Fiverr is where I have a bunch of gigs. You're buying a half an hour of my time. I have, like, we work together in the simulator over there. I have, like, I teach you how to solder over there, build planning, tuning, PID tuning. But yeah, you're buying a chunk of my time. I don't think there's anything that you can specifically prep, other than maybe like writing down a bunch of questions. But like, to be honest, those sessions turn into a conversation pretty quickly because, there are a bunch of like kind of foundational things that we sort of run through. And if somebody doesn't understand them, I'll take like a 5 or 10 minute chunk to just kind of dive into that, because those are the things that like will really help you on your FPV journey. So yeah, there's nothing specific, but yeah, it's really nice to be able to just like get the questions answered one-on-one. And like, if I feel that you're not totally grasping it, I can explain something in a different way, right? Like on these live streams, I explain stuff in like the most broad way that I possibly can. That'll make sense to hopefully as many people as possible, but I don't get any feedback, right? And so the one-on-one phone calls are where people tend to get a ton of understanding. Ryan also says, do you have any word on when the Caillou Mini will be back in stock in the US? Nope, I don't have any ties to like any manufacturers or any of that stuff. I never know. I didn't even realize that it was out of stock, to give you an example of that. So yeah, I don't have any inside info. Anybody that does have inside info, they're not going to share it because they're usually not allowed to anyway. So, but I get pretty much no inside info. I'm not tied to any manufacturers or any shops or anything like that. Motan FPV says, the Neo got me hooked like crack to this hobby. Nice. Okay, cool. So, there is a quick start guide, which is not in English. The back of it's in English. Here we go. So look at that. Pre-flight checks. Number 1. I love it. Good for you, BetaFPV. Please check the package list. Charge stuff up. Make sure things are set up properly. Cool. All right. We've got quick start. Necessary to have quick flight test. Quick flight test. Step 1. On the remote control transmitter, set the throttle joystick at the lowest position. 4 switches, positions shown. Look at this, man. They have like a proper breakdown in here. Very, very cool. We're going to follow it. We're going to follow their breakdown. They do also have a big, thick user manual. I absolutely love this. I absolutely love physical paper manuals, because these things you like bring to work with you, and when you're shitting at work, you read through them. You bring them on the airplane with you. You bring these because they're just little physical things. You don't have to have the internet or your phone charged to go through these. And there's always really good stuff in the manuals. So this is great. I love this. I love that they included these. Talks about the different colors that the battery will turn to tell you its charge level. Very cool. Where's that battery? So push the button and it says green. What's green? Full. 50 to 75% battery remaining. There you go. Let's hit these other 3. We got a green, and a green. Cool, so we'll have enough. We're going to skip the manual. We're just going to do the quick start guide. And like in the past, I would actually skip the quick start guide and just start flipping switches and hitting buttons. And that has kind of screwed me over in the past because sometimes when you do that, you'll change a mode to something weird and then it'll create more problems than it's worth. I'm assuming that this card here with these QR codes will bring you to these instruction manuals on your phone. But we don't need no stinking phones. We need pieces of paper, yo. So, it's first telling us about the controller, which I have reviewed the Light Radio before. It's a little small for me, but to be honest, all of these gamepad style transmitters, they're all too small. I have these big long piano player fingers. And I also pinch. This is not a transmitter that I can really comfortably pinch on. So I'm going to be trying to fly with, I'll figure something out. So it's telling us where to put the switches. So it's saying put these two switches in the downward position, which they are. And then it's telling us to switch these outward. Okay. These are momentaries here. And it's telling us to zero the throttle. Put the throttle to the lowest position. So we've got all the switches in the right positions. On the remote control transmitter, long press the power button for 3 seconds until it beeps 3 times. Let's try it again. No! Oh, there. Wait. Was that it? Oh, okay. It's the DJI method. The line above it, it says short press once and then long press. Okay, so it's the DJI system. So, setup, rather. 1, 1, 2, 3. Let's try it faster. There it is. There we go. Cool. So short press, long press, beeps 3 times. When the power indicator turns from red to solid blue, it means the remote control radio transmitter has been powered on. There we go. Step 2, install battery into the battery mounting slot above the quadcopter. Here we go. I've already done that. Short press and then long press the button for 3 seconds to turn on the quadcopter. 1, 2. We've got beta flight tones. That's fun. Transmitter just beeped. That's telling us that they're connected. Wait 3 to 5 seconds until it's flashing. It stops flashing and it's gone solid blue. We have gone solid blue. We've got lights on the rear, left, and right. There's the front. We are going to go as low up tilt as we possibly can with this camera. I'm just going to do that by pulling down on it with my fingernail here. And yep, that's about 10 degrees. Just clean that lens one more time. Okay. Step 3, push. The throttle joystick must be its lowest position when the quadcopter is arming. Push switch SA to the right to arm the quadcopter. This is SA right here. So we're going to push it to the right. There we go. It arms. So, other than short and long pressing, this thing is good to go right out of the box. Bound, not sure about the goggles yet. We're still waiting on those batteries to charge up. But, very, very cool. Didn't have to do anything wacky. The throttle is not sprung. It's not notched. It's the way that we would want it to be. The springs feel right. Very cool. Let's hover it real fast. Let's see like how it's set up out of the box. So arm. Nope. Throttle was not zeroed. So it would not arm. Awesome. Throttle is now zeroed. Arm. All right, so it is in. Ooh, it is noisy. It is in an altitude hold mode. I had to go almost full throttle to get the thing to come up at all. It took me until like half throttle for it to even come off the ground. And then I had to go pretty much full throttle to get it to come up slowly like that. And then as soon as I dropped the throttle back down, it was just like holding its elevation. Let me do that again. It's blowing stuff around everywhere. So watch this. Ready? Full throttle. And now, wow, it's... Woo! There is all kinds of motion. There is all kinds of expo added to this. So it's like rate limited. That's not bad though. Not bad. They have added gobs of expo to this, which as a brand new pilot is absolutely what you need. So that's pretty cool. It feels very dull right now. It's probably not in sport mode. It's probably on total beginner mode. But boy, did they do a good job adding expo into this throttle. Yes, at full throttle, it goes like, right? And at zero throttle, like we're not getting what we're used to in FPV, but boy, as a brand new pilot, throttle control is brutal, and this is really nice. You have a lot. It's cool because it's not like a dead spot. Like what I thought initially what I thought is that I'd be able to do this and nothing would happen. That's not it. Like when you do this, it very, very slowly increases and decreases altitude. That's really cool. That's the most beginner-friendly throttle I have ever felt, which is super important. What's on the next page here? Step 4. After completing your flight, make sure to land the quadcopter safely. Don't disarm it and hand catch it. And push the arm button back to the left. Cool, so we already did that. Step 5, short press, then long press the battery to power it off. Cool. Flight operation. So, you've gotten this out of the box, you've put it up in the air. I love that they don't talk about the goggles. They want you to line of sight the thing first. That's really smart. I really, really dig that. So we've done that. Okay, so here, let's fly battery around the room a little bit. Let's do our line of sight battery. Pretend like we're new. And so zero the throttle, arm it. Full throttle. Right stick forward. So here we go. This is me putting the throttle all the way up and down. Here's going to be full right roll. Full left roll. Pitch back. Pitch forward. Very, very stable. See if I can get through this gate. Wow, this is incredibly easy to fly. Oh, yaw. Here's yaw. Yaw is really soft as well. It's having a hard time keeping its elevation on yaw. That's very normal. Look at this thing, man. Okay. That is wildly flyable. I'm terrible with... Ooh, here, I'm terrible at line of sight. Is this the line of sight training rig that I need? Let's see. Is this what I'm going to use to learn? No, it's too slow like this. But man, this is really good for a beginner. Backwards. Ooh, look how slow it is to respond. Because it's only doing like maybe 5 degrees in any one direction. I bet you could learn to fly line of sight inside your house with this. See if I can judge the distance and get through the Weebly gate. Yeah. Okay. I see you. I see you. It's also adjusting its altitude. Like when I go over the couch, I can tell that that this little optical elevation sensor is turned on, because it's kind of changing its altitude every once in a while, like couch versus the floor versus the coffee table. It's still blue, so it's still charged. Oh, no. Now it's gone yellow. So if I pop the button on the back, so when it's on, it's going to stay this light blue. If I just pop the button, it's going to tell me it's yellow. So it's starting to get a little bit low. It's not red yet, though. Okay. Flight operation. Now it's going to tell us how to get into the sport mode and bang into the TV. Oh, no. Okay, now it's telling you what the sticks do. Throttle joystick up and down for elevation, or they say ascent and descent. Yaw left and right. Cool. Pitch forward and back. Roll left and right. Great. Now they go directly into talking about the goggles. We're going to skip that for now because those batteries are still charging. OSD, flight modes. Here we go. So normal N mode is probably what it's on right now. And that is the SB switch, which is this guy right here. This is SB. Is it labeled on there? Sure is. There it says SB. So when SB is all the way down, as it is now, we are in normal N mode. Next page, sport mode, S mode, is when SB is in the center. So like that. And then manual mode, where we can really get into trouble, is when we go all the way up. And they have little difficulty levels with numbers of stars. So let's go to, oh my God, it's got turtle mode. That's pretty slick. So we're going to go between the three different modes. Arming. Okay. All right, so we're in normal mode right now. Now I'm going to go to sport mode. Click. Not much of a difference. So that's sport mode. There is a definite difference. We'll go back to normal. Yeah, a little tiny difference. But you know what? There is no difference because you have to be disarmed, I'll bet. I just went into manual. So to land it, that was pretty cool. To land it, I just had 0 throttle. When it got really close to the ground, it down to idle, and it landed itself. And so now, I bet you I can... Now you got to disarm, I guess, to check flight, to change flight modes. Rearm it. Whoa, okay. Okay, hold on. Look what just happened. Ready? I just hammered the throttle. So now it's in sport mode. Ready? Arming. Full throttle. Now we're talking. Wow. Sport mode is way different. Wow-wee. Oh, yeah, okay. Sport mode is like what every other quad has ever been. What every other beginner quad has ever been. So, I think it has now turned off the, I'm doing that. I think it has now turned off the optical sensor. I know how to test it. Hold on. Yeah, that turns off the optical sensor for sure. Woo-wee! All right, and then we've got manual mode. So I'm going to disarm one more time. What's manual mode? All the way up on the switch position. Teddy, back up. Come here. Come here, buddy. Teddy, get over here. All right, manual mode. Now we can... Okay, yep, there we go. That's manual mode. Wow, it's really sensitive. I wish there was more expo. Woo-wee, that's rough. And you cannot change flight modes while it's in the air. I wish you could switch it out of manual. Oh, God. Disarm. First crash. There we go. I'll bet you it's a beta flight limitation. I'll bet you can't switch modes when it's armed because it obviously functions off of Betaflight, as we heard when we powered it up. And Betaflight can't switch modes on the fly like that. So that makes sense. That would really be cool if you could, right? If this button could be your like, oh shit switch, and if you're getting out of control, you can just flip this. But yeah, when you build something on Betaflight, you're limited by Betaflight stuff. So sport mode. This mode removes all flight assistance, requiring the pilot to manually control altitude via moving the throttle joystick. Yep, so all of the flight assistance is off. Quadcopter will maintain a level attitude when the direction joystick back to the center position. So sport mode is still like angle/horizon, but it doesn't have the optical sensor and it doesn't have the rates like massively turned down. Normal mode, also known as altitude, hover, and position hold mode. So there we go. Altitude, hover, and position hold. Displayed as N mode. Yeah. Yeah, so it's using the... it's trying to maintain position and altitude. It does a pretty good job. It's very flyable in a pretty small space for something that's 120 grams. You know what I mean? That's probably going to be it. Speed. Oh, wow. There's also speed setting. Whoa. Okay. So on the right side of the controller, is that the right side? Yeah. On the right side of the controller, we have this switch here. This is going to be a rate switch. This is going to be 3 different rate sets. And right now it's on slow. And you've got medium and fast. Medium, slow. That's crazy that it was in slow mode. And then this guy here is turtle mode. So let's try the let's go from slow to fast on the rates. Man, the rates were already pretty touchy, if I'm honest. This could be interesting. Put it way over here. Teddy, come on. Come on. Come on, buddy. I'm actually going to lock him out because this is a little bit big and heavy for him. Come on, buddy. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come on. Good boy. Come on. Upstairs. Come on, buddy. Upstairs. Come on, upstairs. I'm sorry, buddy. Get out. Get out. Good boy. It's also very, 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 very loud. So, all right. I am on slow speed, and I'm going to be on sport mode. Let's see. Oh, God. So slow speed, sport mode. Ready? All right. And so now we're going to disarm, and I'm going to go up to fast in sport mode. This is going to be reckless. Here we go. Oh, battery's dead. It's flashing red over there. So obviously that means change the battery. All right. So flashing red like this wouldn't even take off. Very cool little feature. So we're going to tap and then hold. I probably did that too slow. Nope, it's good. Cool. Transmitter beeps to let you know that it's lost connection. Throw this into the charger here. Grab another one. And it does help to kind of pinch the little sides on the battery a little bit. Short, long. Betaflight tones. All right, let me fly it up so you guys can see it. Okay, back here. Here we go. It's on fast now. The rates are on fast. Whoa, okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. All right, so it's not just the rates, but it's the angle. So we're in sport mode now. And so what it is an angle limit. It's not actually fast, mid, well, I guess you could call it fast, mid, slow, but it's an angle limit. So now it's not angle limited so shallow. It's letting me add a whole bunch more actual angle in. Good lord. Hold on. Let's try that in manual mode, or in normal mode. So I'm up into normal mode. Let's arm it. Nope, that's manual mode. This is normal. Arm it. Yeah, that's normal. Okay. So this is normal on the slow setting. Now we're gonna land it. And we're gonna go to fast. Let's see if that makes a big difference. No difference. Okay, so in normal mode, this is it. No matter what you do in normal mode, it's right here. And boy, is this perfect for flying inside the house or for total new people. And then, so if I go to fast and then manual, this will be stupid. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Nope. 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 Fast in manual is increasing the rates. It's very, very, very touchy. Almost unflyably touchy. So let me go back to slow in manual mode. And that is way more flyable. Okay. Ooh, I think it's upside down. Let me try to turtle mode it. I flip the switch. Nope, it's not upside down. Let's put it upside down, and then we'll turtle mode it and see how that works. All right, so we've crashed, and we are now upside down. Let's see how this works. So we're going to flip the switch. We're going to flip this switch, and then I'm assuming that we're going to arm it. And then I guess we have to use the... Okay, works like turtle mode. Same exact turtle mode setup that we're used to, which makes sense because it's beta flight. And so, you know, beta flight turtle mode is going to function like that. That's interesting. When I arm it, I was trying to just flip it back over. It won't let me. What mode am I in? Doesn't matter what mode you're in. Okay, it will let me flip it over, though, once I get it off the ground. And then, so, again, turtle switch, arm switch. Nope, it wasn't. Throttle was not zeroed. Arm switch. Cool. Disarm. Turtle mode off. Let's do it one more time, just to check its performance. And you're doing this manually. This is not... It is not some sort of an assisted turtle mode. You are doing that totally manually, just like beta flight. I really like this. I really like that this is beta flight based. It's not putting, you know, this is FPV, right? Like this is an FPV. This is your first FPV rig. And like all of these things, yes, they're simplified a little bit, but they're like 99% beta flight. The way that turtle mode works, it's not some weird like automatic sensing thing that does it for you. You have to flip into turtle mode, you have to zero your throttle, you have to arm it, and you have to push which direction. I think that's a really good idea, rather than just like taking all the adding all the nannies and giving someone something that doesn't resemble beta flight at all, and then they get totally used to that, and then they buy a proper FPV rig and it's all different, right? I really like that they've that it's built on beta flight, and that they didn't add too many helping hands, right? It tells you exactly what to do in here, and away you go. This is cool. This is well done. that's everything in the manual. That's how we fly it. So now let's check out the actual Artisan system. Let me, I'm going to put this into normal mode. Okay. Normal mode is reactive to the speeds. I'm sorry. It didn't seem like it was a minute ago, but this is way better. Shit, hold on. Sorry. This is way better with it on fast in normal mode. Look how reactive that is. Much better. Cool. I like that a lot. Okay. Much better. Okay, I was wondering why. I was kind of like, well, you know, I get it. Make normal mode totally dummy-proof. But it makes more sense, actually, to have the speeds affect it. So, cool. And it's the same thing as in sport mode. It's an angle limiting. The slow, medium, fast is going to add extra angle. Normal and sport mode are angle mode on this. And then the rate switch changes both the rates, but also how much angle it's allowed to do. But then in manual mode, all bets are off. The slow, medium, fast changes the rates themselves to make the rates more or less touchy. Because at that point, it's in acro mode. I should be able to do flips and rolls. I didn't even try that. Let's try that real quick before we get the goggles going. Just because it'll be funny to watch me slam it into the ground. Oh wait, no, I'm in the wrong mode, so let's go up to manual mode. Wait, if I'm going to be in manual mode, I have to get the rates back slow. Alright, so this is manual mode. Let's see if I can do... I can't see it. I'm so bad at line of sight, it's unbelievable. Turtle mode, arm, flip it over. On turtle mode, on disarm, on arm, I said. Oh god, I flipped over again. What's happening? I think I'm being too fast with it? Hold on. There we go. Okay, out of turtle mode. Here we go. I'll tell you what, the lights really do help. Alright, I'm going to try to do a little roll. Oh boy, this is stupid. I did it! I hope you saw that, because I ain't doing it again. It did a fairly slow roll. My guess is going to be that the rotational rate in the slow rate profile on the right switch here is around maybe like 400 degrees per second. That was a fairly slow roll, but I did manage to get it around. So, Artisan, the thing that we actually all care about. Although, of the beginner quads that I've flown in the past 10 years, this is absolutely the best. The normal mode is totally flyable. The elevation and position hold work remarkably well for the fact that they're just using like an optical sensor and the accelerometer. The switches make sense. Yeah, this is well done. If you got this for a kid, they could absolutely fly it around the house in normal mode. It would drive you insane because it's loud, because it's heavy. But yeah, very well done from a ready to bind and fly kind of standpoint. But you're all here, and I'm excited about the ArtLink Artisan system. So hopefully I've got enough charge in this battery. In these 18650s, I should say. So it's a 3-strap Jim Jam, and then you've got slot holes top, left, and right. So we're gonna go over the top here, and then we'll just kind of take a guess, and then we're gonna go on the side. Okay, and other side. Oh, nice little molded piece to hold the battery cable. That's pretty slick. Nice little touch there. Ah. Okay. So we got that set up. I'm going to slide this guy down a little bit so it's halfway in between. And then we've got our barrel plug here. And so, again, this is the same barrel plug that we're used to. They did not use the weird barrel plug that DJI did. And so that's cool. We're plugged in, and now I'm assuming it's going to be the same deal. Short press, short, long. And now, there they go. Wow, that's a nice screen in there. They have a gorgeous image of a mountain range there. Light on the front is red, probably because there's no quad powered on. And so on the bottom it says no signal. All right, let me get the goggle strap kind of situated a little bit better here. All right, let's see. So we've got, oh man, these do not fit me very well. Okay. They fit like most box goggles. Why are they? Hold on. So the nose, they're sitting up like this because maybe I have a big nose. I don't think I have that big of a nose, but the nose part is pushing pretty hard. It feels like this is for someone with a flatter face than me. But we're gonna make it work. On the bottom, I just accidentally hit the button here. Here's the back button. Okay, so on the bottom we've got 0 volts for the little picture of the quad. Picture of the goggles says 6.94 volts, 0 megabits per second. It's got almost looks like a little GPS arrow there, and then it says disconnected. So let's power the quad on, and I'll bet you it'll connect. Short, long. There it is. And so now it says standby mode. Well, I think it said standby mode a minute ago. And there we go. We've got video. Just occurred to me that I have no way of showing this to you guys. So I'm going to have to DVR this. Is there a memory card slot on this thing somewhere? Or does it just magically DVR? Doesn't look like there's a memory card slot. Ah, sure there is. It's right up here on the top. Let me grab a memory card and throw it in here so that I can actually show you guys me bobbling this thing around the room. But mainly this is going to be me just kind of talking you through what I'm experiencing. Come on, get in there. There we go. Okay. We've got a memory card in there. And it says manual slow. So it tells you the mode and the rate profile. There's a red button up here. Push that. Red light's probably going to start flashing. Yep. Bottom right corner. Little red lights flashing. So we're DVRing. Let me try to, I guess it would make more sense for you to watch this camera, and I'll try to fly it over there. What the video quality looks fantastic. It looks a lot like 04. I'm gonna go to normal slow. It looks a lot like 04 Pro, to be honest, from like a video quality standpoint. I don't actually want slow. I'm gonna land it. Disarm it, and I'm going to put it into fast for normal. So there we go. Normal, fast. And all right. We're flying. It is very angle limited angle mode. Whoa! That was interesting. It just picked up a bunch of speed all at once. That was a little weird. It's giving me the warning. Oh my god. It's giving me the warning low VOL. I am not used to being this rate limited. I'm making assumptions that I can get it stopped, but then I can't. It's more on me than anything else. It also doesn't love the elevation changing because I keep flying over the couch, but it's handling it really well. So this is normal fast. The warning is low VOL. I guess that means low battery. We're gonna swap the battery out. Let's stop. You know what's interesting is that the video is frozen. Why is the video frozen? Why has the video frozen? What if I arm it? Will that unfreeze the video? It won't arm. Well, no, zero the throttle. Ooh. So the video system froze. Check it out. It took a little tiny tumble onto the carpet, and the video system is frozen. I've heard of this in the other reviews. That is rough. That is rough. Flying something outside and having the video system freeze that's tough. So short press, long press. So that's rough. I would be afraid of that. Let's grab another battery though, and we're gonna go into sport mode, and then we're gonna go into manual mode, and then I'm going to pull the memory card, and you can look at how good the footage looks. I'm actually really shocked at how clear the image is. It's fairly dark down here, and it's doing a really, really, really good job. So, wow, the video is still frozen. Oh, I gotta power the quad back up. I just slotted the battery in and assumed that it would magically turn on. No, you gotta do 2 presses. So, 2 presses. That's firing the VTX back up. Let's see if the goggles unfreeze. Nope, there they go. Yep, okay. So the goggles are now good to go. I'm gonna hit the DVR button. Okay, we are DVRing. So I'm gonna get out of normal mode. I'm gonna go to sport mode. And let's try fast. What the hell? Zero the throttle, arm it. So now we still have the accelerometer on. Woo, boy. I do not fly angle or horizon mode often. Man, so the rates are really sharp in the center. Wowee. Oh, you can change the rates on the fly. That's really nice. I just went to slow. It's much better on slow. Much better on slow. Alright. Let's stop screwing around and get it into manual mode. So manual mode, slow rates. Whoa, okay. Oh my god, it is hard to fly. Turtle mode. Disarm, arm. Oh, it doesn't want to go into turtle mode. It's not completely upside down, and it doesn't seem to want to go into turtle mode. That's interesting. Let me go grab it. And not a terrible idea. That's probably the they probably have that min arming angle set up. I am taking questions, but when I have the goggles on, I can't see the questions, so I'm kind of not taking questions. Manual slow. Let's try this again. Man, the rates are really sensitive in the middle, in the center, which makes it really hard to fly. And I have it on manual slow. This is tough, man. Wow. They should have more expo on here. So we can do flips and rolls. Wow, there's a lot of latency too. I can absolutely notice the latency. I can do some stuff though. I'm starting to do some stuff. Oh boy. Okay. So I armed it and it was right next to the drum set. I armed it and it flipped up into the side of the drum set, and the video system froze. So the video system freezing thing is interesting. All right. Vincent apparently wanted to be hid from the channel permanently. Easy does it. Okay. Eddie from Kick as well. Wow. People still do this? Fucking just... what's wrong with you? Like, in what world? It's 2026. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, you're probably right. It's just bots. So yeah, the video system freezing is... that's tough. That's really, really tough. I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's... I wonder if that's the Aquila 20 related, or if that's the VTX, like, taking a hit in voltage or something like that. So let's power cycle it. And then let's kick it back on. All right. Anybody else want to ask a dumbass question and get hidden from the channel? Wowee. I really wish that the rates were a little softer. I wonder if we can hook it up to Betaflight and do that. I wonder if we can turn the manual slow rates down. Well, you know what? Here. Give you guys some DVR. So, the micro SD card sits up on the top where a lot of these goggles put them, in kind of the most annoying spot ever, but I'm sure it has to do with the design of the board. Turn this guy off. 1, 2. It's got a fan in it. The fan is running. Now it's not. So here you go. A weird live stream this turned into. I haven't had problems like that in a long time. Jesus. Very strange. Okay. They're probably not real people, guys. So, Gray 16. Let's find where it just put those flight files. Nope, not there. Event, go share, lost, miscellaneous, probably movie. Nope. Photo use. Oh, it just dumps them right in here. Okay. So here was normal mode. Look how good this looks. Look at the image quality. So this was normal mode. Fast forward a little bit here. There we go. Everybody behave in chat. So there's normal mode. There's that, like when you go 0 throttle, it comes down and then it like drops itself onto the ground. It's pretty cool, to be honest. No jello. I mean, it's a brand new quad. Of course, it's not going to have jello. You got to smash it into some stuff first. You know, I'm wobbling all around because I don't use angle or horizon mode. I guess if you put enough time in. So there you go. It has this moment here when I'm going over the couch, I think, where, see it drop the nose there? Like, I'm like full stick forward. This whole time I was pretty much full stick forward. Full stick, full stick, full stick, ready? And when it dropped the nose down like that, it generated a bunch of momentum that I went full stick back and I couldn't get it slowed down, which was that was a little odd. And I feel like it maybe did that again here. No, I just didn't correct it early enough. See that? Like I'm trying to correct it the whole time, but it's super angle limited and it just slows down. And so yeah, wow, so many people in the chat that we'll just start timing out. Yeah, Jesus. Very interesting in normal mode. For somebody that's absolutely brand new, it's probably perfect. For me, trying to like make corrections as an FPV pilot for 10 years, it's, you know, I'm like second guessing it. I'm pushing it to the end of the stick travel and then backing it off and then back to the end of the stick travel. But in a second, we're going to go to sport mode and then manual mode. You'll see some serious madness. Like, look at the... Oh, wait, hold on. On the right monitor, I think the filters are still turned on. Yeah, here we go. Okay, there we go. That's what it actually looks like. The filters were turned on for that DJI footage in D-Log-M mode. So this is now sport mode. So it's still horizon/angle, but it gives a lot more angle, and it also turns off the optical sensor. So we're still bobbling all over the damn place, but you know, if you get bored with the normal mode, this is going to be your next step. But none of us really care about this. This is actually a little bit easier to fly because when you need to slow down and stop, it's not so angle limited. So even though this is kind of way more bobbly, for me at least, this is actually a little bit easier to fly than normal mode. And now, so here we go into manual mode. So I am going to plug this into the computer to see if I can adjust the rates, because the center stick sensitivity and or expo are very, very aggressive. And in my opinion, they need to be softer. For flying outside, this would probably be fine, but for indoors, no, it doesn't work. All right. So there we go. So that was it, just kind of getting hung up there. Now we've got USB-C that I'm hooking up to it. I wonder what it'll let me do in Betaflight. Pause this for a split second. Wow. Okay, cool. Mods, please start hiding them from the channel. Don't time them out. Just hide them from the channel. All right, let's see what Betaflight will... oh, no. It's not showing up. It's in virtual mode. Let's unplug and replug and see if we can get it to hook up to Betaflight. I wouldn't be surprised if you can't get it to hook up to Betaflight. Let's try powering it on, maybe. Short tap, long tap. Interesting. No, it doesn't look like it wants you to go into beta flight. Fair enough. I get it. I would not want noobs to be going into beta flight. But I'll be honest, it would be really cool if you could take those rate profiles and change them around a little bit. Okay, well, we tried. Maybe BetaFPV has like their own version of Betaflight that will hook up. I remember that was the deal with their light radio. They had a specific piece of software. But so here's a little bit more manual mode here, and then we're gonna fly one more manual mode battery, and I'll see if I can get used to these crazy rates. So yeah, somebody that's used to rates with a center stick sensitivity of maybe like at least 100, maybe closer to like 200, and then like no expo, this would feel a lot more like home. I'm the complete opposite of that. I've got way low center stick sensitivity and loads of expo, 0.7 expo. So this is brutal for me. Add to that the fact that there's a good amount of latency with this system. Like I can definitely notice the latency, and it's tough. And so here you go. You're going to see what caused the video system to freeze. And it basically just, that leg was next to it, and it went like that. I went to take it off, and it did the air mode thing, and it like that, and that's what caused the video system to freeze. And it looks like it also killed the DVR, which I would expect. So yeah, interesting. I am going to fly this outside tomorrow, Friday, and I'll give you guys some outdoor flight footage with it. In the house, we are very sensitive to latency, and you really need low rates. Daytona Jim with a $1.99 super chat. He says, looks great. Hopefully they can bring down latency. Indeed. Indeed. All right. Let's do one more. Let us do one more battery here. Memory card back in there. And we got to turn it on from the battery. It's kind of interesting, like, there's a bunch of, like the short press, long press, the battery on the back of the goggles. They take some stuff from DJI and some stuff from regular old FPV. It's kind of neat to see that. What's this battery here? This one should be good. All right, a full manual battery. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if I can get used to this. So I've got the up tilt as low as it'll go. I'm actually kind of surprised by the amount of power that it has. It's hard to tell because we're inside the effing house, but yeah. All right. One full manual slow battery. So we're on manual but slow rates. Ready? All right, we're DVRing. Here we go. Arm it. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah, okay. And the video system froze again. I bumped into the side of the couch. The couch was here, and I was like this far away, and I rolled too much, and it bumped into the soft back of the couch, and it froze the video system. So that's a bit much. Hitting the ground, I can forgive it. But bumping into the couch, essentially, what we've got is something that you can't crash. When you crash it, you have to take the walk because the video system's going to freeze. Is that acceptable for, like, a... for your very first quad? I don't know. I guess you could maybe make the argument for that, but it seems like it's a bit much, in my opinion. Oh my God. Well, the whole quad reset on that one. Did you hear the? Did you hear Betaflight reset? That was a harder hit. But where'd you go, little fella? There it is. Yeah, that was definitely a harder hit, but I'm still just inside the house. It's not that hard of a hit. So that's tough. Daytona Jim says, is it on the new firmware just released a couple days ago? If you're referring to this, no. I've had this for a week. But the firmware is not going to change this. This video, the video system freezing up like this is not a firmware thing. This is a... my guess is going to be that when it hits something, the motors are spiking and there's a voltage drop on the VTX. Oh, okay. Battery just went dead. It's cool. It lands and goes to idle when the battery dies. There's all kind. They've done all kinds of good stuff, but boy, the video system thing is a real shame. Hopefully it recorded that last little bit because I did 2 little loops down here, which is about as good as I can do with it, I think. So the limitations are definitely the latency, but also the whatever's causing it to lose connection, or to kill the video system. It's crazy though. Like the battery is really well secured. So I don't think it's a battery is unplugging issue. The BT 3.0 is plugging in really nice. Huh. What is going on? I wonder what's causing it. That's a shame. It's very handcuffed by that. Let me see if I've got a little bit of DVR here for you, though. Flying it outside, you're not going to crash it as often, that's for sure. When you do crash it outside, it's going to hit like a ton of bricks, so it's probably going to break the plastic frame. So it's tough, man. The whole, like, just don't crash it thing, it's unrealistic. And when you do inevitably crash it and the video freezes, it now becomes very difficult to find. In theory, you should still be, you can still go into turtle mode and fire the motors up to find it by ear. But when you're new, you're not going to know that. And so that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough that it does that as frequently as it does. I can forgive digital systems for freezing sometimes, but this is an awful lot. This is awful frequent. Here is that last little flight. This is as good as I could do with it. The rates are super uncomfortable for me. The video quality is fantastic. The latency is like... The latency feels on par, maybe a little bit more. That's it landing itself. On par with like old school DJI. I have a feeling it's more than that though. So that's tough. That was the crash that it did reset the flight controller, right? So we clipped that. Yeah, that was moving pretty good. That was a hard hit. So I can forgive it on that one, but here's is the couch crash in here? Here's the couch crash. This is that's not much momentum there, and it's into a soft couch. So you can fly it inside the house, but you're going to want to stick to normal mode or sport slow. You're not going to want to fly manual in the house because you're going to bump into stuff and the video system's going to freeze and it's just going to drive you insane. The manual mode is going to be for outdoor only. And I'll do that tomorrow. And I'll give you some flight footage on Friday, flying around out in front of the house. But man, they got a lot right. They did a lot right with this. It's a shame that there's such a drastic issue. Like the video system freezing is a real big problem. Like that's one of the worst problems to have, because when you lose video, you don't know where it is and it's hard to find. And also, you, like, God forbid you bump into something in the air and it freezes, and now you're in the air blind, right? So tough. This controller is too small for my hands, but it's a pretty standard controller. It's good quality. The goggles are fine. They don't fit my Italian face all that well, but it's not that bad. Yeah, they got a lot right, but there's a couple glaring things that are really rough. Jason Scott says, maybe you got a bad one. No, every single review that I've seen of it, if you want to get to see the honest reviewers versus the dishonest reviewers, or just the reviewers that didn't actually use it, watch the reviews for this thing, and most reviewers talk about it freezing all the time. A couple reviewers don't though, which means that, yeah, either they didn't fly it or they're just not talking about that, which that's rough. All right, let me scroll up and get caught up on the chat here. I'm blown away by how easy it was to set up, get up in the air. That normal mode on slow is awesome. For an absolute brand new person that you don't need to walk through the beginning month of FPV, which is a nightmare. This is really, really good. Come on. There you go. Yeah, this is kind of perfect for somebody that you just want to get up in the air and not have to babysit. Where am I at here? Matthew Wegner says, I'll try to find a minute to write up throttle thoughts, TM, into Patreon Hangout. I've messed with a lot with newer beta flight and also weird experiments like hand-drawn curves. Interesting. Uriel says, PDF and a good archive. Don't cut trees, hug them. Indeed. He also says, is there a beta flight connection that can take another transmitter? If you can find a way to bind it, I mean, it is running beta flight. And so if you can figure out a way to put it did not talk about it in the quick start guide. It might talk about that in the full manual. But yeah, you can probably use a different transmitter on it. Double Jose says, I have an Air 65 race that has a flyaway oscillation issue, but only on some flights, and other flights it flies fine. Does this indicate a motor issue? Any past experiences can help. That is very weird. That I would more blame that on like an AIO that's on its way out. But you just got to keep putting batteries through it, and you just got to keep trying to find some sort of a correlation between when it does that. But my guess is going to be that the AIO is on its way out. Matthew Wagner says, if it's Betaflight, paste its diff into a 65mm with a matched version. Yeah, they seem to be blocking Betaflight, though, in some way. Jimmy the Cow says, you have to tap and hold the battery for it to charge. It won't charge if you just plug it in. Turn the battery on to accept the charge. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, you're right. That's weird. So I was flying all these batteries on their storage voltage that they came with. So yeah, you got to snap the battery into the charger. And you got to tap and hold. That's interesting. I don't love that. It should just charge them. I guess you could make the argument of like, well, I just want to put the batteries on the charger in their discharge state and then wait to charge them. But that's a recipe for not charging your batteries, like what happened to me. Joel says, I thought you could change flight modes in Beta Flight. I have changed from angle to acro when I was first starting. It's been a while since I used any other modes, though, without disarming. I'm pretty sure you have to disarm. Jamie Flies FPV says, confused what you said about switching modes in Beta Flight. I have my modes on a Switch. I can change them anytime I want. Wait, no, yeah, you're right. What am I saying? I have modes on a Switch. I have Horizon on a Switch. Yeah, that's interesting. How the hell did they block that? They blocked that. They blocked the ability to change modes while it's armed. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay. Come on. Hold on, I just want to make sure that I've hid all of these people. Okay. Lewis says, real question. I have a TBS VTX ready, true, but no OSD. Any ideas? It's an AliExpress flight controller, so you never know. No OSD. Well, the way that we start every troubleshoot is when did the behavior start. Without knowing when the behavior started, I can't even. I would waste so much time. So yeah, when did the behavior start? Jimmy the Cow says you need to turn on the batteries to make them charge. Ridiculous. Tony Jim, thank you again for the $1.99 super chat. Zach is doomed by the bell says, hey, what 0702 motor would you use for a build using 35mm bi-blade props? More torque, lower KV, super high KV for more power. Heavy model motors or Delta One motors like RC and Power. So with the bigger 1.4-inch 35mm props, you don't need tons of KV. If you're going to go happy model, I like the 32,500 that I had on mine. I think I still have it set up. If you go anybody else, you don't need 30,000 KV from VCI or BetaFPV or RC and Power. That's going to be too much. You're going to want like maximum 28,000. The problem you're going to run into, though, is it's going to hammer the batteries. I would stick with Happy Model 0702 32,500s because they're very efficient, and that setup is going to kill. It's going to be very hard on batteries, so I would go that route. If you want a ton of power, yeah, you're going to get like minute and 30-second, minute-long flight times, and you're going to just demolish your batteries. So, yeah. That's my opinion. Yuke says, might as well fly my 04 that I can't crash because it's too expensive and hardish to find. Chef Bruno says you have to mash the button on the back. I think to get the batteries to charge is what he's talking about. Lewis says it's a new build. Channel switching works, so it's definitely a weird OSD thing. So if it's a fresh build, usually you've got in the get into the ports tab and make sure that you have that set up properly on the right side, and then make sure you didn't switch the wires. And then there used to be another scenario. God, I haven't troubleshot no OSD on analog in so long. There's another really common thing. What's that other super common thing that causes no OSD on analog? Damn it, I forget. Google and or YouTube search it. You'll find it. There's another common thing. Apache Smoke Good Cypress in the house says, good morning, how are you doing? Just tested the new T-Hobby 2S AIO, but 450 mAh LiPos through it and it holds up great. Let's see how much it will take to break it. Love it. Chef Bruno says VCI 070230 or VCI 80227 for a 65, or is the 802 better for a 75? Yeah, 802s are too big for a 65 millimeter build. 702s all day. 802s are for 1.6 inch props for sure. Artlynk, Artisan. Incredible image quality. I'm absolutely staggered at how good the image quality looks on this. Like this is wild. That is a wild amount of image quality. This looks better than Walksnail. It looks just as good as 04 Lite. Latency is worse than all those guys, but not that much worse. A little bit worse. It's hard to tell the latency because the rates are all over the place. The rates are totally different than what I'm used to flying, and it doesn't look like there's any way to get in there and dial in the rates. I'm going to take a real quick look at the actual manual. Quadcopter level calibration. So there is an OSD if you need to calibrate the if you need to accelerate the calibrometer. So that's cool. But I want to see if there's any way to get this thing into Betaflight. Do they talk about that at all in the full manual? It's not looking like it. Oh, you can turn off the LEDs in the OSD. Config, OSD operation, DVR, frequency selection. I didn't go into the menu to look at changing the frequencies. Who cares? Talking about the switches and the buttons. No. So it looks like they've locked you out of Betaflight. Whether or not you can like message them and say like, hey, is there a way of getting into Betaflight with this? I don't know, but it certainly looks like they have you kind of locked out of Betaflight. Which again, I for this type of a rig, I don't blame them for doing that. On the flip side of that, though, I would love for it to be something that you could do as an advanced user. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be really nice if they put it behind a bunch of layers of complexity. Like, you have to go to their website and download a version of BetaFlight that's like BetaFPV BetaFlight. Because if one of the kids wanted to get into FPV and I bought this for them, they would have a hard time flying manual mode because of the way that the rates are. I really wish that the rates in slow mode were a lot softer in the middle of the stick travel. That would really make this a lot easier to fly. All that being said, nobody's going to try to do what I just did. Nobody's going to try to duck it through, 14 gates through a house around, right? And so flying it outside, the rates are going to be a lot better, but I still think that the low rates should be lower. So yeah, interesting. They got a lot right. The Artisan system, though, I don't know. Is it the Artisan system, the ArtLink system, or is it the AIO? Typically, we don't have AIO issues anymore, and BetaFPV knows how to make an AIO that doesn't cause the video system to freeze all the time. So that leads me to believe that it's the Artisan ArtLink VTX that is sensitive to shock or voltage drops or voltage changes, right? You're always going to get a voltage change when you hit stuff because the motors when you hit something from one side, the motors spike on the other side. So that's tough. That's super tough. But boy, for like the ArtLink system has some potential. That's what I'm going to say. The potential is not realized quite yet because of a couple pretty glaring things, but there's a future in it. I really do feel like if they get the latency down a little bit, leave the image quality where it is and just figure out why it keeps freezing, it could be really, really good. It looks amazing. It looks every bit as good as DJI 4. It's super lightweight. It's super inexpensive, right? With how inexpensive the VT. I mean, like, look what this costs to buy the VTX and camera. Like, this is ridiculous. $38. How is it only $38 for the camera and VTX? That's insane. Maybe it's because they didn't put any capacitors on the VTX, and if it gets any kind of a voltage spike or drop, it freezes. Maybe. So, yeah. At the moment, the P1 setup kind of can't be crashed. And so that means you're flying it outside in a field sort of thing. Or you're at least like flying it somewhere that you're super familiar with, because when the video system freezes, it becomes very difficult to find. And yeah, it's $100 and something to lose in a field just because they didn't build a video system that can withstand bumping into a soft couch. So that's I am admittedly disappointed by that, but again, it feels like there's a lot of potential here, and for a first try, pretty good. You know, pretty good. Capital C says, Oscar Liang says there's a custom beta flight you can access. So there we go. Okay. Oscar had trouble running it on some computers. Okay, cool. So that's really good. That makes a lot of sense because there's obviously beta flight on here. So yeah, I guess they've got a custom version of beta flight that you can then go in and change the rates. That's awesome. I kind of expected that. I was a little confused as to why it wouldn't connect to beta flight, but yeah, I get it. Bind and fly, beginner rig, firmware for P1, Meteor goggles. What if I click firmware? What's here? 2026 0330. Oh boy, what in the world? Are they talking about freezing at all? No, there's no like red text saying load this version so that it stops freezing. So yeah, it's not a software thing. Software is not going to cause it to freeze like that. That is a hardware issue. But there you go, friends. ArtLink Artisan, lots of potential. But as with all version 1 stuff, not there quite yet. They got a lot right here, though, man. You buy this for somebody that doesn't know FPV at all, and like the video system freezing, they'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta go unplug it, or I gotta go push the button, tap the button. You know, they wouldn't if this was your first quad, you would just be like, oh, they all do that, and then you'd get your second quad, and you'd be like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. The video system doesn't freeze over and over again. So yeah, Jason Scott says beginner drone you can't crash. Thanks, funny. Yeah, I agree. If I was building a beginner drone, a major part of the design for me would be like infinite durability. Like make it absolutely hammer everything, crash 1,000 times and never break. That would be like maybe number 1 on my list of priorities with a beginner drone. That's just me though. I'm not very good at making money, so don't listen to me. Uke with the last comment of the live stream says, I think I'm going to retire the 40,000 0702 1.5mm shaft. They've lasted longer than any other 0702 for me. 3+ months of just smashing them, learning new things. I really can complain. Nice. Yeah, the motors get beat up. The stators get beat up for sure. Oh, wait, no. Chef Bruno with the actual last comment of the live stream. He says, I'm thinking of doing another Frankenstein build. I have a Nano Scout board, VTX Air 65 V2 frame, 300 mAh Lava 2, and gonna see in if the 0702 30,000s will kill it. Nice. BetaFPV, thank you so much for sending this over. a hell of a kit. As always, beautiful case. Everything fits really nicely in here. Maybe there's a firmware update that'll come out at some point that will keep it from freezing up. I highly doubt it. But yeah, if you recommend that somebody get this, just don't tell them that FPV drones don't need to be retrieved on most crashes. Just leave that part out, and they'll just think that this is what you go through, and they'll be like, man, you must be stubborn, bro. And you could be like, yep, as a matter of fact, I am. I will fly this outside tomorrow and let you know how it goes. It seems to have half decent power. I think it'll be pretty good outside. I think this is for outside. I don't think this is for inside. I think this is outside with some free space so that you're not crashing all the time. I think that's the way to go with this. I'm putting it back in the case to show you how nice it is. Looks like you have to... oh, shit. Looks like you have to unplug this to get the antenna to fold down. That's gonna wear out that barrel plug. That's kind of a weird oversight there, but just want to make sure it fits in this case with everything set up properly. Yeah, it does. Yep. So yeah, like a really nice case. As always, everything fits in there. A bunch of extra room up here. So for flying outside and not banging into things and just relaxing and flying like HD, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. And that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna take it outside and pretend like I'm a normal human being and float this thing around. I'm gonna fly this like an Avata, right? Like I'm gonna fly this like a Neo or like an Avata, and it'll probably be totally fine like that, you know? Very impressed with a lot of elements to this. Chef Bruno with the last comment of the live stream, for real this time. Everyone hit the like button on the way out. Don't forget CiottiFPV's site for all your FPV parts needs. Thank you, brother. Be good, friends. Here's a little bit more flying from the Sunny King Criterium with nothing like this rig. Fully custom 04 Pro live broadcast rigs. I will see you guys on, what's today, Wednesday? I'll see you guys Friday at 7 o'clock. By the way, next week, Maggie and I are going to Portland for like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So next week, there will be no Wednesday stream, no Friday stream, no Sunday stream. Fair warning. Be good. I'll see you this Friday, though.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Bit fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed. They zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Sighties on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Yo, Ciotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack.
prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle Mike. They on the dog drone streets every day and night.
Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy.
Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive.
I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy.
Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep, yeah. CiottiFPV, Teddy's spaghetti. Diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile.
Teddy's spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, rolling at top speed things, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile.
Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends, legends sing it loud. Yeah, Teddy spaghetti and CiottiFPV.